Very well said. I want to go back, Krish, to one of the questions that have come up, which is one of the C's that you mentioned around clarity. Now, whenever you do have clarity, it is great to pass it on in the spirit of transparency. But many a times, a lot of leaders themselves being vulnerable, a lot of leaders not being able to crystal ball gaze into the future, and each one of us also being in the same space where we don't know what tomorrow will make us do. And therefore, in situations where the future is so uncertain, how do we provide clarity? And if you can't, where do we really draw the line to be very, I think so the answer is pretty much in the question, to really go out and say, okay, we're equally vulnerable, we don't know, and maybe we'll figure it out together. But is there any other thought that you have? Because when I was reading the question, those were the thoughts that came to my mind. But if you have something else on your mind, Krish, because I think it's better to go ahead and transparently tell people that we are in it together. It's not something that we have done earlier, that we have expertise and we'll be able to solve for, but we will figure it out together. And if you have ideas, suggestions, co-creation should be the way to go. And being vulnerable as a leader is nothing wrong in it. So any other thoughts, Krish, on clarity when there is no clarity?
Yeah. No, I think what you said is absolutely right, because if you cannot, when there is lack of clarity and you say something that will lose trust and credibility. Yeah, you can't do that. So you can say, listen, we don't know how things are, but I think you can talk about some of the indicators. See, I think the point is every business, everything, we won't know exactly what is there. But you can say, listen, I think if these things are there, these are the things that we are monitoring. If these things improve, things should be. That gives people that, listen, we know what are the things to really do that. So therefore, I think clues that people can catch on are very important to provide clarity. For example, if I'm running a business, let's say I'm running an FMCG business, and my FMCG business, yes, I was talking to the CEO of kind of a confectionery company. And then he said, listen, I know. And he said, listen, we make chocolates and we make biscuits. Now what is happening? These are we don't know. Chocolates is not growing, but we know that people are using more in-home consumption. So maybe biscuits are going more. Chocolates will be less because it is out of home. Therefore, that's 80% of our revenue, and therefore maybe it's not selling. So what are the things maybe we can try and see how we can do it much more in a kind of an institutional. So he gives a clear idea of what are some of the things I am looking at when I know the business will improve. Yeah. So those are so therefore you won't know what it is, but you say, listen, this. Or you say, listen, when I look at it, our costs are here. And I think to improve these costs, these are the two things we need to do. We need to really, reduce our cost by some at least 10% of what it is. We need to ensure that then I think people get more clarity. So when there is lack of clarity, I think you should mention that, saying we don't know, but these are some things that we should be looking at. These are some areas that we should keep track of. That really helps people saying, yeah, these guys are looking at it. There is more clarity, and this is what it is. Yeah. Similarly, in HR, you say, yeah, I'm looking at it, but we look at this. We look at, how many people can come here, what is the thing. So therefore, you just talk about what are the factors that you will take as you will make a decision.